look fabulous.
Thank you, love.
You look fabulous. I love you.
You're so sweet. I love you so much. No, it's like in the upper 50s here in Chicago.
Ooh.
I know. It's
right.
It's balmy. Cheryl's coming in from California. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. And now we're streaming on Facebook. It's so great. Ready to go deep today, Carmen?
Yeah.
Excelente. I love the music that you're doing. Thank you for sending me that.
Just for holidays.
It's so beautiful. You've got such a gorgeous voice. You're such a great performer.
Well, I've been a singer. That was my career. That was what I love to do.
It's amazing. Amazing.
You know, you reinvent yourself. When things don't work, you find another way, you know.
Over and over again, huh?
Yeah.
But singing's your passion. You love it. Singing and dancing.
Oh, I love that. Is my number one passion.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's so healing.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Hi, Onyx. Welcome, welcome. Pat is in. Tula, Jim. Welcome, Eileen. Carol and Anne, Christine. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining Carmen and I. And those of you that are on Facebook, welcome. Hello.
I have somebody working in my house in the back. I'm going to tell him not to make noise. Just a second.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to tell my dog, hey, dog, you don't make noise either. He's looking at me. But all it takes is that right moment, and you're going to hear some barking, right? You just go to bed. It's always fun to do these things, and you just never know what's going to happen as far as other people or technology. He's got to go for it. So you guys enjoying your holidays out there? Getting ready to wind down this 2021 and jump into 2022 with vision and intention. You emerge through this veil and tap on into your power. It's an amazing time to be alive. So much opportunity for us to grow together. So much opportunity for us to learn and to heal on deep levels. So Dr. Carmen and I are going to jump on into it today. You ready, Onyx? I'm ready. I'm ready with you, sister love. Such a pleasure. Yeah. You're sweet. Okay. Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay, beautiful one. You
Ready.
ready to rock and roll?
Ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So I want to welcome everyone to another Beyond the Veil. I am so excited to be here with you as we wind down this 2021 epic year and we head into an even more epic year of 2022. I'm here today with one of my favorite people and a dear, dear friend and someone who inspires me with such deep, profound ways, Dr. Carmen Harra. I will introduce Dr. Carmen in just a moment, but I would love for everyone that is joining us either live on the Zoom or those of you that are joining us through social media, I just invite you to take a deep healing breath. And as you let go, just acknowledge that right now in this present moment, you're showing up. And you're showing up for the most important person in the entire world, and that's you. That every human being, that includes you, is born remarkable, beyond extraordinary. And inside of us is a value that goes beyond measure, beyond worth. You cannot be quantified or qualified by anything or anyone, no matter what you've experienced in your life or what you've been told or what beliefs are living in your program mind. You are an infinitely valuable human being, spiritual being, and you're here to be celebrated. And as all human beings, we're shaped by patterns that live in our DNA, patterns that live in our behavior, patterns that influence us that have been handed down by our ancestors. There are these amazing, invisible, multi-generational patterns of how we think, how we feel, how we're able or unable to trust our intuition, how we're capable of making decisions, how we react. These patterns affect our ability and influence everything in our lives. And Beyond the Veil is about going beyond these patterns and knowing that there's more than what meets the eye. There's more than judging a book by its cover. That life is just the tip of the iceberg, and that deep inside of you is a light brighter than the sun. You are divine and you are here to shine. And I'm excited to introduce right now Dr. Carmen Harra, who is an internationally acclaimed intuitive psychologist, best-selling author, radio show host, relationship expert, TV personality. If you were on earlier, you know she is a singer, songwriter, dancer, and just all over extraordinary woman. Carmen had been an intuitive since a near-death experience as a child. So she decided to combine her ability to see with her knowledge of cognitive therapy, something that had never been done before. In 1998, Carmen began writing her first book, Everyday Karma, which became an international bestseller and was translated into over 20 languages. Over the last 10 years, my dear friend Carmen has hosted her own radio show on Sirius Satellite, Healthy Life Network, Contact Talk Radio, Blog Talk Radio, Hay House Radio, WOR New York Radio, and WABC Radio. Carmen is a co-chair in the Vital Choices Global Partnership, a delegate member of the Women in the World Foundation, and an honorary member of the Alliance for New Humanity, founded by Al Gore and Deepak Chopra. So I am very excited right now to go beyond the veil with you, Carmen. Welcome, my dear friend. How are you, gorgeous one?
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be with you because you're such an inspiration to me. And everybody listening to you right now, they just wake up to themselves and to the possibility of transformation, to acknowledge the divine within themselves. And you make people connect themselves with themselves, and with the world around. And that's so precious and that's so significant for our well-being, because your topic is a topic that we should all consider introspecting and digging in and finding much more about. It's all about going beyond the surface and digging into the source of our problems, going deep into those layers within ourselves, within the reactive brain part of the brain that stores those memories, those traumas, and everything that ever happened to you. So if we dig deeper, going beyond the veil over there, we find enormous amount of information that help us understand the source of our blockages, the source of our problem, and what we really need to do to release everything that we keep on storing there. So I think that your message is a message of healing. Wow. Because you are a doctor that is also an amazing healer. You help people go beyond medicine, and you inspire them find the true path. So it's about finding who you guys are and honoring yourself and knowing how to tap into who you really are at the genetic code, how to communicate better with your own self and with the world around, and in progress. It's about evolution. This world is about evolving. It's about reinventing. We were speaking before starting the live, that how significant it is to find enormous resources within yourself. Every time you feel things are not working, there's a saying by George Lopez, the comedian, who used to say, well, if things are working in my life, it means I'm at a dead end, so I need to reinvent myself. So I need to come up with something else. And in my case, I had so many moments in my life when I said, that's it. This is not working for me anymore. I have to find out another resource within myself. And when I hear people complaining, oh, I'm stuck, I'm still in the same boat for years and years, and I feel so down, and I have no self-esteem, and I don't see where my life is going, I'm saying, okay, you're in that moment, you're in that a moment of being stuck and feeling locked up. Look into within yourself and find different skills and ability that exist within you. Reinvent, start again in a different direction. And you will see how your life is flourishing again. And then there are moments after a while when you have to do it over and over again, So it's all about reinventing yourself, and it's all about being in a state of, like you said, content, in a state of gratitude. Gratitude is the most healing force that exists within ourselves. So if we're grateful, like you advise everybody, and that your message is so powerful for that reason, be grateful, because then you are healed. You healed. If you have gratitude, you have it. You have everything. You have everything. Everything will come to you. You're in a state of gratitude.
Yeah. And I don't even believe it. I know, because I've experienced it over and over and over again, whether it be the healing of a body that was told, oh, you've got this disease, you've got this timeline, this is your expiration date, or people that have experienced traumatic loss and change and shocking experiences and trauma in life. I know that inside of every one of us, as you were speaking about evolution, is the ability to heal, transform, and continue to reinvent ourselves. I know this to be true. And so I also know, and I bow to you, my friend, because to lead the path, and you're a leader, you are an inspiring leader in the world. You choose to show up. To lead the path, you must walk the path. And to walk the path, there are moments in time that are the switch goes on. It's the inflection point, the awakening where, and I'm curious, when it comes to the veil that people get caught in, I can't, I won't, I'm afraid, I doubt, we buy into the limitations. For you, what was your, or one of your defining moments where you realized that there's more than what's meeting my eye, there's more than what's going on in my life, and I've got to reinvent myself now?
Well, a moment when I had in my own life, when I had to reinvent myself, is when I came as a singer. So I had a concert in New York. I was in my 20s, but then I realized that, singing might not work for me in America. You know what I mean? So I was touring since the age of 16 all over Europe, and I was kind of as famous appearing on television and singing in 14 languages. So that's what
Wow.
I did, as I was a young as a teenager. So then when I got here, I said, well, I met my husband, I got married. I said, if I want to live here, and find my path here, I have to start fresh. I have to do something completely opposite. And because, like you mentioned, I love the ability of the brain to be intuitive is one of the skills of the mind. Like the brain has memory, the brain has intelligence, the brain has creativity, and also has the capacity to bridge the two hemispheres of the brain and be so-called intuitive, like go beyond the sensory, the cognitive mind, and tap into the reactive side of the brain that we call the subconscious mind. So we have that ability. And if we use that ability, we transcend the world of the physics. We go into like the different dimension, the sixth sense, the seventh sense, and many other senses that we do have. So for me, when I realized, hey, I can use my intuition, but I can also need knowledge. People don't really understand what intuition is all about. So then I decided to go to school, and then I completed my education in the field of psychology. I was very fascinated in the way the mind works. And since then, for like the last 30 years, I keep on dealing with people who have all kinds of psychological problems. And as you said, going beyond the veil, you find the source of those disturbances in the brain. You see people with all kinds of disorders, from compulsive disorder to bipolar disorder to schizophrenia to all of this manifestation. And you question, how can we heal this? Because in life, we heal not only once, we heal multiple times. And we can get sick multiple times and heal again and again and again. But how do we heal the mind? Because everything is in the mind, How do we heal our pain? You have to embrace your pain. You have to sit with your pain. You have to go through the pain, and then, your pain becomes your friend. But the most important thing, you need to do your inner work. You just cannot be just labeled that you're a sociopath, or you cannot be just labeled like that by somebody. You have to do your inner work and find the source of your problem and heal that problem where it started. Go back to that problem where the trauma was eventually generated. Because look at the world right now, and we've discussed this before. The world goes through such a traumatic experience right now. For the last 2 years, people are terrified. They don't see themselves out of this nightmare, and there's a lot of suffering, and it's all emotional. It's all emotional.
Yeah.
And nothing hurts more than our negative feelings of emotion. And there's where we got stuck. And when we got stuck, the healing process cannot actually really happen.
Profound. I just want to stop and circle the dragon of the question that you asked.
Right.
How do we heal our mind? How do we heal our mind? Right. It's like, okay, like I have an injury to a part of my body, my spine, my muscle. I've got digestive challenges. I have an immunological, I have hormonal imbalance, and there's different things that we can do as far as eating and nutritional supplementation and herbs and sleep, right? Yeah. But how do we heal our mind? And I love that because, as you know, because you're an expert on the mind, and this is what I teach in the Lifeline technique, is a map of consciousness. Right. The nature of the mind is when the mind is caught in the negative programs of limiting beliefs. Right. When we have these memories that are like fingerprinted, imprinted in our psyche, in our consciousness, in our field, that when these get triggered, we literally can't see beyond the label. So all of a sudden, I become the bipolar, the schizophrenic. I become the sociopath. I become the person who I've been labeled as. I become the asthmatic, the diabetic. I become the person who was traumatized, was raped, was injured, was betrayed, was rejected, whatever it might be. And that is, and I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, that is something that's called TMS. We know what PMS is, right? Mm-hmm. Premenstrual syndrome. Right. TMS is toxic mind syndrome. And toxic mind, yeah, and toxic mind syndrome is something that is the pandemic on planet Earth right now. Toxic mind syndrome is people have such toxicity in the way we think about ourselves, the way we even think about situations that are difficult. As soon as we identify as something is a problem, then it's a problem. And so the beginning of going beyond the veil is to change the rules completely. Change the rules. And here's the first rule. There are no problems. There's no fights. There's no one that's broken. There's no one that needs to be fixed. That everything is an intelligence. Everything is a feedback that is here to help us evolve into the next greatest version of ourselves, which you said so beautifully is going beyond the veil, is going beyond our senses, and we open ourselves up to the intuitive nature of our truth, that we are able to see with love, that we are able to hear with compassion, we're able to feel with acceptance, we're able to let go with forgiveness. We're all capable, and it doesn't matter what it is. If Viktor Frankl could do it in Nazi Germany in a concentration camp, if Immaculate Ilibagizi could do it in the Rwandan genocide, if one person in the most extreme level of trauma and shocking loss can do it, guess what? Every human being, no matter what has been defined or diagnosed or labeled, can move through. But, and you say, I want to go back to it. How do we heal the mind? So I want to throw that back at you because I've got some thoughts on how to heal the mind, but I'd like to talk about how do we heal the mind? And I want everyone who's listening to really think about, where are you stuck and where are you struggling? Where are you suffering in your life? Where are you in Groundhog Day that keeps you from reinventing yourself and going into the next greatest version of yourself? So beautiful one. How do we heal the mind?
So first of all, I want to tell you, the essential part of the way the brain functions. This is where we can acknowledge what's wrong with us. We create patterns of behavior from the very beginning of our lives, and the way the brain functions, the brain encourages something that you've already done to keep on doing it.
Wow.
We create clusters of neurons that support an activity. Let's say, okay, you start to smoke. The brain creates an imprint and supports that activity. So without you realizing, you become addicted to cigarettes or you start to drink. So in other words, whatever you do, the brain will support your action, creating a pattern of behavior. And a pattern of behavior can be very destructive, creating a compulsive disorder personality, creating bipolar disorder. And this is the way we create a disease by, the ability of the brain to actually sustain, support a certain action, as positive as negative, it might be. So what I'm trying to say is we need to acknowledge what is exactly happening in our, way of acting that will lead to a mental disorder. Because in order to heal the mind, you have to know where your problem is in your mind. You have to sit and acknowledge your thinking. You have to sit and acknowledge what you become addicted to. You have to break through patterns of behavior. The patterns of behavior are our problem. And you also have to acknowledge that a lot of the things you've been going through are somehow stored as imprint in the subconscious side of the brain. So if you tap there, you have a possibility to acknowledge what is wrong with you and what the problem is. and also you have a possibility to start working and healing, by being fully aware what you exactly are doing wrong to your own self, because
Yeah.
so many people are self-destructive. We live in a world that is very self-destructive, and from the self-destructive behavior, we develop all these autoimmune disorders. We have more than 100 autoimmune disorders at this point, from Hashimoto to diabetes type 1 to eczema, to asthma, there's so many. There are so many, and then growing. The young generation, you see a young generation that is on medication, on all kinds of meds at 17, 18, and that's scary. That's scary. It shouldn't happen. Where is this problem that we all experiencing that comes, as you said, from the mind? Why we see the young generation addicted to drugs? Where is this addiction coming from? We see so many people dying in their 20s, 27. We have a list of infinite celebrities. They all die at 27, by the way, and why? Because of addiction to drugs. How can we heal the mind so that we are not addicted people? We don't develop the tendency to create a destructive pattern of behavior.
Well, that's an amazing concept. And I love that you open the door of addiction as far as how the brain wires and fires that neural network that then perpetuates this maladaptive stress reaction, this behavior that becomes destructive and defeating. And, part of it is
there's more, sorry to interrupt you, but there's more depression and more addiction right now than he has ever been, because the trauma that we all experience triggers patterns of behavior that are destructive.
Yeah.
So like you said, how do we respond and how do we heal, the world collectively? What can we do? We cannot really dismiss that this doesn't exist, because it does exist,
Oh boy.
And especially young people are a little bit reluctant, to work on themselves. So, I personally would love to introduce in school, discussions or techniques in the young generation, how to switch the mind, and get in balance, because that's the problem. You're out of balance, the chemistry of the brain is out of balance, then it's a life that is completely lost. You see somebody who's addicted to drug and there's no way to recover. There's no way to save them. And we just assist, we feel hopeless in front of a young person who takes every day opium and all kinds of other stuff, and they cannot be saved. So how can we heal that? Where is the source and the root of the problem? Beyond the veil, where is it,
And then it goes back to your question, how do we heal the mind? I've got a really great friend. Her name is Dr. Jane Abraham. She runs something that's called the Heart Center in Memphis, Tennessee, where they work with addiction. And at the core of what they do a whole initiation process where they bring people that have gone through, as far as being in prison, as far as being on the streets, as far as being sex slavery, as all kinds of things. They bring people through what's called the Heartway. And in the Heartway is the Lifeline technique, the system that I developed.
Right.
In Tennessee, they have the highest percentage of transforming addictive patterns. They have the highest percentage of transforming and evolving addictive patterns. Yes. And that's because there is a process of transforming toxic mind syndrome, detoxifying the mind, where these negative thought patterns that when they are activated and hijack our heart, and where our heart is now no longer our heart is being driven by these old patterns, generational, ancestral, past life, early imprints, that when our heart is in that state, and this, I'm going to cycle this into addiction, it stimulates the brain, where the brain produces a chemical that's called the neuropeptide. The neuropeptide, and this is so important, is the molecule, the chemistry in our brain that goes along with our emotions. And what's significant here is these neuropeptides bind on a cellular level to the receptors that heroin and cocaine bind to. And
Right.
we know when we take heroin once, I've never taken it before, but if you take heroin once, what the cell does is it produces 20 times the amount of receptors.
Right. That's
Right?
exactly the way the brain works.
Right.
It encourages you, towards that behavior that is destructive. And this is that's why it's so difficult. That's why it's so difficult to break, through this pattern of behavior. It's not easy. But I'm a firm believer that we are not born addictive. We might have, in our DNA, something that we inherit, but if we are well guided, if we become aware of our DNA, if we know, hey, my father was addicted, I don't want to be my father, or those are the things that run in my family when it comes to mental health. What can I do to prevent that from happening? Because I'm not necessarily born with a compulsive disorder personality, but I have a tendency, there is, like you said, there are those receptors, they exist, but it's up to you. So I think that the way to heal is always going back to that moment when you were not addicted, to the very beginning of your life when you were probably, what triggered, addiction? Because something triggers. And in other words, in a way of healing is go back to the source.
There you go.
It first happened. What triggered? To the trigger.
Yeah, without a doubt. And what is the surprising part about it is because when someone is in the throes of an alcohol addiction or a drug addiction or a sex addiction or a technology addiction or a work addiction or whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. The nature of it is we really are wired for addiction, but the truth is that you can be addicted to love. You can be addicted to compassion.
Exactly.
You can be addicted to acceptance.
There is a switch with awareness, with awareness. It's building people's awareness. I mean, the world is addicted to Apple, is addicted. Wherever you turn, doesn't matter the age, the sex, doesn't matter. If you're female, male, a child, old, everybody's with the nose in their phone, This addiction to technology, it's a scary one, I go back to my grandmother who lived 100 and something and her mother 112. They had no idea of this addiction. They live in the nature. They eat from the nature, in a much health. That was the explanation of their longevity. They had no idea about doctors. Doctors didn't exist by then. They had no idea of compulsive disorder personality. They had no awareness of any of this, but the way they lived was so healthy, and they were praying for each other, and they believe in God, and they praying to God, and they believed in being good people, and they believe in sticking with each other and building that nice family and having children and being normal. So and then they live 112. Is it possible to live that long? Oh my God, absolutely. The molecule is designed to live way longer than that.
Right. And then some.
So what's going on in our world? What are we doing wrong to ourselves that creates all this behavior and all this chemistry of the brain that is out of control?
Yeah, it is. And, I would actually bring to the highest level of addiction, the addiction to media, the addiction to news. And the sensationalism, the sensationalism of what's going on that then becomes this rampant way of being driven by fear. And now, rather than
the addiction to gossip,
yes,
we want to know what Kardashian does, why she divorced, what I mean, how many sex tapes she did. Who cares? Who cares? Because by the time of my ancestors, there was no media, no television, no phones, no cars, but they lived that long, healthy life at peace, and they died at peace in their sleep was, of course, by that time, they probably didn't have the right medication if there was a serious disease. A majority of them, they were healthy because they live in a healthy way. You know, they were more at peace with themselves. Actually, think of my grandmother, the most peaceful woman I've ever seen. I remember me calling her when she was 100 years old, and she was telling me she's doing fabulous. She's cooking for her grandkids, and they don't know what they are for her anymore because she had so many grandchildren, you know. She was
Amazing.
so funny. At 100 years old, she was able to cook. She was normal. She was thinking right, and she was a lovely human being who never said a bad word about anybody, because she said the silence is gold, you know. And she hardly knew to write her name. I don't even know if she knew to write, but it doesn't matter. She lived in the countryside, and the wisdom she had was unbelievable.
Yeah, and I hear you, and I love what Suzanne just wrote. Okay, solutions, meditation, going from a heart perspective instead of the mind. I was literally, you're just reading my mind, Suzanne, because here we are in a world that is driven by fear, is driven by these addictive patterns. We do get hijacked. We all get hijacked. And some in much more extreme levels that show up in really self-defeating, destructive ways. But in our world today, where we have technologies, we have ways that can support people more than just being aware of this, because awareness alone is not enough, but it's the beginning. It's the beginning. Awareness enough will not stop a reactive pattern, but at least it can open us up to then begin to make the step by step process for evolving into the next greatest version of ourselves. So what would you say some bullet points are for evolving addictive patterns that affect us personally, affect us in our family, affect us professionally?
Well, some bullet points, very simple things that you probably guys heard before, is being in tune with yourself. Learn how to communicate. And awareness is the first thing that opens the door that there's something wrong. Exactly. If you're aware you're an alcoholic, you can do something to correct it. If you're not aware you have an addiction, you will never be able to be healed.
Denial, right? Denial, like, oh, I'm not it, but
denial. So for that reason, you have to communicate with you. You have to communicate with your body. You have to allow your mind to send you the signals, because that's what intuition is all about. It's all those signals, you know, that we receive, that we should pay attention. There's something within the body might be wrong within ourselves. So if we build on that, then solution, back to the nature. A lot of people start to buy houses in less polluted areas because they want to have a backyard. They want to grow their own food, you know. So we're going back to the way our ancestors used to live, in a way, if we want to be healthy. Stay away from the craziness of the world. Don't listen to so much television, to all that negative information. And again, work with your pain, work with your fear, work with the negative emotion. And as you said, replace them with love. And you can do it from something that you heard a million times, affirmation. You have to tell yourself, okay, my pain is gone. Today I'm healthy. My mind is brilliant. I am ready to be the architect of my life. I'm ready to reinvent myself. So by using words, you rewire the brain. The brain can be reprogrammed. Yes. And we heard this again over and over, but do your inner work to reprogram those patterns of thinking and switch from the negative thinking into the positive. And you might think, well, I'm doing this, but it's not working. It is working. If you constantly are doing it on a daily basis, and you tell yourself how you are ready to create the best version, how you have a strategy, how you have a plan, how you know what's wrong with you and who's influencing you. So pay attention to all of this detail. Of course, meditation is good because it always helps you tap into your inner self. Visualization is also good because what you see, you become. What you project out there is very significant. You become what you think. You become what you talk. You become, you create a belief system, and your belief system is the essence of who you are and the roadmap of your life. So
I like
these are
that.
things that, yeah.
I like that. And I would like to bridge on that, like what you think is what you become, and who we hang around with makes a very powerful impact on us. And I want to talk about the role of community, and right, because in our world right now, where people are afraid of each other these days,
right?
People are afraid of each other, and so the role of community, and when it comes to, yes, affirmation and meditation and mantras and doing your inner work and journaling and gratitude, all these things, but when we are in a community that holds a space for us and sees what we can't see in ourselves, that inspires us to up our game, that people that we respect and that we value, that when we're in community, even through, like, this is great, like even through technology, like you're in Florida, I'm in Chicago, right? But we're creating community here. And this level of community, I really feel, is the profound hub to bringing all of this together. Like, yes, we've got to take charge, own our power, and take responsibility of our own lives. Absolutely. But without community, I really feel at some point we reach the edge of the cliff, because we're all one, and we're designed to be. We're designed to be connected with each other. We're designed to work with each other and build off of each other and evolve as a result of interaction. So, you've been in and created so many different levels of community in your life. What's your take as far as the role of community and the role of initiations through community to support people in healing on a deep mind level?
I think it's essential. I think a community is your path towards healing. So it's very important, even if you cannot go out because you're afraid of this COVID thing. I can understand. But as you said, and this I do myself, a lot of lives, a lot of communication with live, with your followers, so try to communicate in a different way. Very significant, extremely powerful, because we heal each other. There is an extraordinary force that exists when you communicate. The healing process is very natural and it's very organic and very easy to be achieved when you are in tune with other people and we share what you have to share. And that's what we're doing. We share opinions, and we create an open discussion so that everybody can participate and tell us their opinion. I'm also a firm believer, by the way, that many times, talking about mental health, there are disturbances in the brain that are not under our control, that come from the chemistry of the brain. So in case you guys experience severe form of depression that becomes a clinical depression, you need to figure it out what's exactly happening inside the hormones of the brain, because the brain has many hormones called sometimes neurotransmitters, those catecholamine in the brain that go out of control. When they do, you go to a psychiatrist and you express your fear of whatever, and that you're severely depressed. You don't want to get out of your house because you're scared, but you are really depressed. And then you receive a serotonin receptor that all they do, they raise the level of the serotonin, which is one of the neurotransmitters. So what I always recommend, if people feel severely depressed and out of control, try to take some natural stuff to regulate the chemistry. Don't necessarily go to medication, because they also create addiction. So you become addicted to all kinds of pills, and we don't want that. But there are natural stuff that regulate the dopamine, the norepinephrine, the epinephrine, the glycine, and so on and so forth. There are things in the brain that if you regulate them, you keep your body in shape, you keep your mind in a state of being dynamic and in control of things. And depression is gone very easily this way.
And the beauty of the pharmacy is that you can create your own pharmacy by getting out in nature. You can create your own pharmacy by listening to music, by singing, by dancing. Absolutely. You can create a pharmacy of all these healing chemicals by looking in the mirror, opening your eyes wide, smiling for extra credit and saying, I love you. I love you. But right. You have to do it. You have to do it. So this is what I would like to do. I would love, if you're open to it, I would love to take some questions and maybe right. we can lead some people through some process. So anyone that would like to be led through a process, just raise your hand and David will bring you on. And while we're waiting you to come on, I want to just let everyone know that I am giving a free event. I'm giving a free event. I think it's the 15th. Is that right, David? January 15th?
Yes.
Yep. So January 15th, I'm giving a free 90-minute event called Personal, Professional, Family Life Mastery. And wow. It helps people so that in 2022, you can design your life and create a vision and reprogram, detoxify your mind and step into the next greatest version of yourself. So anyone who's signed up for this talk with Dr. Carmen and I will be invited. And I look forward to seeing you on that free event.
Please sign up because it's so important. I want to add something, because you talk about music and dancing. When you dance, you release those feel-good hormones, and it's very important, to keep the body moving because then the serotonin goes up, talking about neurotransmitters in the brain, or by simply taking a plant that is called ashwagandha is going to regulate your brain. And that's just a plant that the nature gave us, something like that. But the music, talking about Ayurveda, the science of life, the sound therapy is so powerful. If you doubt, if you feel like your world is ending, if you feel like suicidal, if you feel like you can't take this COVID anymore, use the sound, the sound of your own voice. Because I was a singer, I used to do vowels, so making a sound, so that sound goes in your head, stops in your knee because over there you have an inflammation. You'll be amazed to see how the sound goes where there's a problem in the body. It's fascinating, So use your own sound of your voice to break negative frequency that will create inside the physical body all kinds of abnormalities, an inflammatory process, and from there the pain will start or will affect the chemistry of the brain. So it's as easy as you wake up in the morning, do your sound, use your own voice. That's why
that's beautiful.
To single America, music does this amazing therapy.
Beautiful. Well, Tula, did I pronounce your name right?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy holidays.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you.
I love you, Tula.
Thank you. I love you too. I've just met you today and I love you. Yes.
So tell us how we can be of support for you. And
yes, I am a long-term Lyme patient.
Okay.
And I was actually talking to Colette Barron-Reed, who never talks about health, but on her Oracle Circle, she felt compelled to talk to me. And guess who she recommended that I see? Dr. Darren Weissman. Mm-hmm. I'll be seeing you soon.
Oh, I'm excited.
And yeah, so I'm struggling with it. And I've been through a lot of I've walked through fire in the last 2 years.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Infinite love and gratitude. And you know what?
So you have Lyme disease, no?
Yes, and it's
that's an autoimmune. And autoimmune, as you know very well, medicine doesn't have, the Western medicine doesn't have treatment for autoimmune, but they all have a trigger and all create an inflammatory process. So what happens to you, I don't know what Dr. Darren will tell you because he's better than anybody, but I feel like this goes back to your youth and it goes back to your mother. Whatever happened when you were young, something triggered a disconnect, something trigger a trauma, something trigger something that at that age you couldn't handle well. So I feel like that's when your disease, a disconnect happen into your field of energy. But I think if we go back and correct that, this can be controlled very well, and it can be controlled very well by natural products, which I don't know if I have the right to recommend it, but if you write my email, I'll tell you what to take that will control this disease better than anything you've ever taken. Okay. So I have a list of natural stuff that you can take, easy to take, no side effects, will make a world of a difference. So it's my name, Carmen Harra at AOL. Carmen Harra, you see my name, CarmenHarra at AOL. Write me an email and I gladly give you a list of stuff that I know, and you should keep in touch with me free of charge. This is nothing you should be worried about.
Such an angel.
I want to make you feel better. And I'm going to leave Dr. Darren, but I know that this can be resolved in the next 2 years easily. But in the moment you start this protocol, you will feel better in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
And I tell you, Tula, Dr. Carmen is just such a giver, and definitely reach out to her. And she's brilliant. Yeah, she's brilliant.
I love you, Tula.
Thank you.
So Tula, I want you to understand, because Carmen, you hit it right on the button, and I just want to help you just to have an appreciation. What I'm finding here just straight away is that there's a pattern that began at 7 years of age, and it's specifically living in the consciousness of your heart chakra. So your heart chakra is all about feeling, and it's about feeling self-love. So at 7, you were in an environment that was traumatic, that was emotionally reactive. It was an environment of a couple things. One, paralyzed will, and the other is emotional insecurity. And what I mean by that, at 7 years of age, your environment thought, felt, spoke, and behaved in a paralyzed will. I can't have, do, or be what I want to have, do, or be. It was an environment of emotional insecurity. It was an environment where the ability to feel your feelings and love yourself wasn't available for you nor your environment, and specifically your mother. So that was so right on, Carmen. And I invite you to take, this means I love you in American Sign Language, and put that right over your beautiful heart. You have a beautiful heart, Tula.
Thank you.
And go deeper than the pain, go deeper than what you've been told about Lyme. Your body is designed to heal, regenerate, and be whole. You're a divine being. And as you connect to your light, and as you embrace this beautiful, beautiful inner child that lives within you, listen to what I'm saying here. Focus where you're going. This is not about getting rid of Lyme.
Yeah.
This is about what your heart desires to feel. When it comes to you being in your life, your health, intimacy, your relationships, what does your heart desire to feel?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Love and trust.
And now I invite you to repeat after me. I am love and trust.
I am love and trust.
There you go. I am love and trust.
I am love and trust.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love and gratitude.
I am love and trust.
I am love and trust.
It's so powerful. Those words right there, I am love and trust, are the healing vibration. That is the next greatest version of Tula, because when you think I'm love and trust, then you create a new world of love and trust. When you feel I am love and trust, then you attract people and circumstances that match love and trust. I have a question. Are you open, ready, and willing to use your imagination right now?
Oh, yes.
Cool. So full on Walt Disney imagination. And I invite you to see yourself healthy, whole, and complete, love and trust. Here you are in your body, and you are in your body. Here you are, and you are the commander of your mind, and that you are the courageous leader of your life. And you're moving in the direction of authenticity. You are no longer walking on eggshells. You are love and trust. You feel your feelings. You love yourself. You are loved. You love others. How does it feel to imagine I am love and trust? How does it feel, Tula?
It feels wonderful.
Feel the wonderful feeling.
And
Feel the feel it right now. Feel the wonderful feeling. This is the beginning of the healing, is the feeling of the wonderful. This is the beginning of a new brain chemistry. This is the beginning of new brain anatomy. You love and gratitude. This is the beginning of new hormones, new digestion. You love and gratitude. And would you choose to feel wonderful, Tula?
yes,
Then say it. I'm now choosing to feel wonderful.
I'm now choosing to feel wonderful.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love.
I'm now choosing to feel wonderful.
I'm now choosing to feel wonderful.
And I forgive the part of me
And I forgive the part of me
who keeps forgetting
who keeps forgetting
that feeling wonderful is always my choice.
that feeling wonderful is always my choice.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Is your mom in the physical or spiritual world?
Spiritual.
Connect to her, feel her presence right now. I invite you to repeat, Mom,
Mom,
I know
I know
that you love me,
that you love me,
that you've always loved me,
that you've always loved me.
and that you'll forever love me. The very best way
The very best way
that you knew how.
that you knew,
And I accept you.
and I accept you.
I forgive you.
I forgive you.
I'm so grateful you are my mom.
I'm so grateful.
I love you, Mom.
I love
You are loved.
you.
You are pure love.
Pure love.
And Mom,
Mom,
I am love and trust. I am wonderful.
I am
Go like this. Infinite love and gratitude.
infinite love.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite.
I'm gonna do something really quick right now. This is about toxicity, poison, boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna help you dump this out. Infinite love and gratitude. Cool. That just opened up what's called your immuncatories, so your detox pathways can let go. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. I want to welcome the 7-year young part of you to her fullest potential, and I want to welcome you, Tula, to the next greatest version of yourself. Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Take a deep healing breath.
And you don't have Lyme. You have to say, I don't have, like, I don't think you actually have Lyme disease. I think you have the markers for Lyme disease, but it's very possible that somebody implemented this in your brain and you live with the belief that you have it. And it's possible that you don't even have it anymore. So that's my sense. It's just intuitively, I feel like you should say, my Lyme disease is gone. I don't have it anymore. So you give yourself the permission to release this belief that you have this disease.
Letting go. I'm letting go of Lyme.
Let go. Let it go.
I've been in treatment for a year. So
Right.
I guess it's worked.
It worked. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Tula. Well, God bless you, and I'm so
Love you,
grateful.
Tula.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll be in touch.
healthy,
Thank
happy,
you.
and I look forward to connecting with you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Carmen.
Infinite love and
Love you.
gratitude.
Thank you.
Love you, Tula. Love you.
So I think Dante had a question. Can I drop my question in the chat so I don't take too much time? Yes, you can. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Dante. Hello, Dr. Darren. Lately, I started to see clear my inner child like never before in my life. So a general question that I have, and maybe can help others, you're sweet, what means when we are starting to access seeing and interacting with our inner child? Do you hear this, Carmen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does it mean when you start interacting with your inner child, that you're remembering who you genuinely are? That you
That's
are
so powerful. That's
it's so powerful.
The beginning of your healing process of something that existed there but was dormant within yourself. So it's awakening something within you that through the process of your own evolution needs to be awakened, and that's a force of healing the trauma that happened to you long time ago that you buried in your subconscious. So when you feel that child, the child needs to be embraced, that child needs to be loved. That child needs to be told that he has a beautiful life and he's going to grow and become an adult. So connect the two parts of you. Connect your inner self, with the child within you, so that you assist to your own growth and to your own transformation.
Yeah. Yeah. Your higher self is your inner child.
Yeah.
Your highest self is your inner child. And so
Right.
that reclamation of your inner child, that acknowledgement, that ongoing relationship that you can call on in any given moment is so profound. What causes disease isn't age. What causes us to age is that at early times in our life, we disconnect, deny, internalize, lose, break the mind, heart, or will of the inner child because the consciousness isn't available. So as Dante, as you are reclaiming this connection and honoring and eagerly leaning into it, oh, that is so profound. Yes, for you, and I love you because it is so powerful for everyone else as well. So that's awesome. Thank you, Dante. Suzanne wrote, "Hi, I'm very healthy metabolically, but because of coercion, had to get vaccinated to keep my job. Palpitations and shingles followed. Just not good. My art feeds my heart. Oh, my art feeds my soul. I've decided to feed that imagination." I want to say something, Suzanne. Whether you get vaccinated or not, everything's vibration. So it's not about being naive. It's not about spitting in the wind or anything like that, right? However, because everything's a vibration, you can harmonize a vaccination, you can harmonize a pathogen, you can harmonize anything. You can. There's a step-by-step process for this. So I've helped a lot of people in this arena, and if you need help, please feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to help you, or I'll refer you to someone who can support you in harmonizing on the deepest subconscious level so that you can integrate the reactive pattern that's been triggered by the vaccination. The vaccination just triggered something within you. Don't be a victim of the vaccination. Don't. You did the vaccination, do it with love. You did it. Great. Here it is. It's beautiful. And harmonize that. And so you can start to do that straight up. Just be like, I accept you, vaccination. I forgive you, and I'm letting you go right through me. Specific, any and all aspects of the vaccination. And let's do that. Whoever is listening right now, and if you've been vaccinated, infinite love and gratitude to 100% of any and all aspects of the vaccination that are influencing the health, harmony, and wholeness of your mind, body, and spirit. As we raise the vibrational frequency of the vaccination to the highest vibration of infinite love and gratitude, as we raise the vibration that activates the fullest potential of your self-healing mind, body, and spirit. And so it is. It's done. It's done. It's done. Infinite love and gratitude. God bless you, Suzanne. Do you want to take one last call, sweetheart?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Oh, my pleasure. So we will take one last. There's one other person that's raising their hand, and we'll bring them on.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey.
Thank you for the opportunity, David. Carmen, thank you so very much for allowing me to be here with you. Thank you so much. So in 2015, I went through a serious bout of cancer, and it took almost 3.5 years to get me through it. And I approached it with a lot of love. I approached the whole disease and the whole process, embracing it, believing that there were many lessons that I was going to learn from the experience, and I did. So my question is, now that I'm on the other side, I've been having a real hard time being able to integrate, I guess, really being able to integrate back into understanding my connection to the human energy. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I guess oftentimes when you go through a serious bout of something that challenges your life and really puts mortality in front of you, the things that bother other people tend to not bother you anymore because there's been a bigger picture in your life.
Yeah.
And so I guess what I'm asking is, how do you get through and try to reconnect? Because I live my life through a heart center. Love is my vehicle of allowing me to get through
Wait
this.
for me 5 minutes.
So just would like some insight from you.
I love it. Dr. Carmen, do you want to go first, or what would you rather?
Well, my feeling that I have is that this was a great challenge, that it was a lesson to learn, a big lesson. And the lesson was meant to help him open up to the higher self, to an infinite possibility of healing. He went through this, and he can be inspiration to other people, to the way he succeeded to go through the process. So it changed his belief system. It changed the way he looked at the world. He's facing his mortality, but in a sense of wanting to go deeper into the experience in itself. And if I were you, I'll probably write something about it, because it was such a fascinating way to go through a process and to heal. And I do believe that this disease, that is also a disease caused by some trauma somewhere in your life, goes back to a father figure or somebody in your youth. I'm going to the age of 20s, probably a little bit older, and it goes back to your father figure. So this was triggered by the connection that you have with your parent. I don't know if you agree with me, but this is my take on it.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Do I pronounce your name Samaj? Samaj?
Mm-hmm.
It's Samaj.
Samaj. Samaj.
Samaj,
So,
you have a French origin. Where are you from?
I'm here in the States, but it's a name that was given to me when I was
But
young.
is this the origin, the background of your name goes back to Europe?
I don't know. I don't know anything about my family
I have
history.
a feeling that your origin goes back to France, long time ago. France, England, that part of the world in Europe, you know. I'm detected that, and I feel like there's something karmic, talking about karma that was carried by your ancestors. Yeah.
You're so plugged in, Carmen. So here, I want to ask you a question, Samaj. I want to ask you a question. And it's a silly question, but I want you to really hear it on a soul level. Okay. If you could choose to create your life, you could design it, you could manifest your life a day or moment, would you choose to create it first and foremost where you got cancer in the first place, let alone as a result of going through this, that you're having a difficult time integrating with humans? Would you choose to create your life that way?
I would probably choose to have the experience the same way again, to relive the experience and all the love that I experienced through the journey.
It's amazing. And that
because if I can just
Yeah.
share something for a moment, when you go through the journey of cancer, it's the only time in your life that it really gets to be about you, and everyone around you surrounds you with love in whatever way they can show up with it, whatever way they can show up. And love shows up in the craziest ways. It shows up in the opening of a door. It shows up in somebody wanting to pick up something and carry it for you. And in that process, we have to be willing to accept the love and not push it away. We spend our life desiring love, and we spend so much time pushing it away when it shows up. And the biggest thing that I learned from that experience is love is so beautiful, and so many people have it and want to share it, and they share it in whatever way they can. And we have to allow that. We have to allow that because it's part of their healing and part of our healing as well.
Well,
but this is what healed you. This is what you got healed, because you allow it, you embrace it, you know, and love is the most healing force.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and you just
the only
acknowledge
thing that's real.
You just acknowledged what Dr. Carmen said. You got to write about this because you took the hero's journey. You took the hero's journey. However, that's not my question. My question is, if you could blow out birthday candles and make a wish for the upcoming year, on your birthday candles, would you ever wish for cancer? Oh, I can't. Do you ever wake up and go, oh man, it's a good day for cancer? Oh yeah, I like totally want to have a difficult time integrating with humans. Would you ever choose it? Like I recognize that you see the big picture and the value of what happened, but that's not what I'm asking you.
Okay.
I'm asking you, would you choose this?
I probably would not wake up and say, yes, this is
Yeah.
what I want to do today.
Right.
I think your book should be a journey about the way I love myself through experiencing cancer, because it opened up to your own inner self. It's just,
Well, I think cancer is just a metaphor for many other things that we carry in our lives. And my thought is you have to love the monster inside, right?
Yeah. You embrace it, and you go through it. This is key.
And guess what? It's not a monster. It's not a monster that's inside.
No.
What's going on inside is you've got an imprint in a condition from 4 months in utero. So you're in your mother's womb, and this is your relationship with God. So at 4 months in the womb, and so I love that you brought up like father. I love that you brought that up, Carmen. You like always freak me out a bit. You're 4 months in the womb and you're in an environment of grief. You're in an environment of lack of trust. And all of a sudden you're in this world that you're separate from the most high vibration.
Right.
And at 4 months in the womb, your ability to go, yeah, but I'm love and I'm receiving love. And it's like, and I'm experiencing love. At 4 months in the womb, you didn't have the consciousness. Your mother, whose heartbeat was the part of the formation of your cells, her relationship with your father and the dynamic that runs very deep.
The relationship with your father
could not support you in a way that it didn't have the ability to. So at 4 months in the womb, you were given a gift of protection. And that protective pattern has been in motion. And what happens is the 4 month in utero part of you gets triggered by colors, sounds, smells, tastes, and you maladapt. And that maladaptation is behavioral, it's biological, it's subtle and extreme. It became cancer. And now that part, that 4 month in utero part of you is having a hard time integrating with humans. You, when you came into your mother's womb, were having a hard time integrating being human. You coming from this divine place. And for the first time, just take this moment right now and connect to God, connect to the consciousness of the universe, the field of energy that connects all of creation. What emotion do you feel as you connect to the divine light that connects all of creation? What emotion do you feel?
Oneness.
Infinite love and gratitude. Go like this.
Yes.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Love and gratitude.
Infinite
love and gratitude.
Now,
infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude.
In your mind, see the vision of oneness. See the vision of oneness with yourself, with humans, in the world, your life. See it. See it. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. And now feel the oneness as you connect to the most high vibration. Yeah, feel the vibration. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. And give this feeling of oneness a voice. There's a message in it. There's a message. Hear what the voice is saying to you right now. As you are, let me know.
We are all love. We are all oneness.
We are all love. We are all oneness. We are all love. We are all oneness. Write that down. Write that down. We are all love. We are all oneness. That's the message. That's the message. That's the message. Yeah, it is. Holy shit. That is totally, we are all love. We are all oneness. But that's the message that was attempting to come through as far as the difficulty integrating the human experience. That was the message you have been attempting to get. You received it today. And so it is. Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love and gratitude. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. What an honor. What an honor, beautiful man.
Thank you.
Yeah. What a sweetheart. What a love you are.
Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for that.
We love you.
And I love you. And love is what my heart feels full of.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Love you too. And God bless you and keep shining bright. And thank you so much, because this experience was really a big one for everyone watching what you just went through. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
So awesome. So awesome. So I want everyone to know I have had the best time, as usual, with my dear friend, Dr. Carmen. We always have so much fun together. I'm going to be doing another Beyond the Veil later today with Rosemary Hurwitz. We're going to be getting into what's called the Enneagram. You'll love that. So if you want to join that, you can feel free. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be at 1 p.m. today, Central Standard Time. But Dr. Carmen, I love you.
I love you.
I love
I
you
love
way
you.
more.
We dress the same way. I cannot believe we're both in red, the color of love.
Yeah.
Love,
Red
love,
undies too, right?
right.
Yeah. I love you. Healthy, happy holidays, everyone. Happy
You
New
too.
Year.
To everybody, we love you.
Keep shining bright. In love and gratitude.